Good, happy Tuesday evening. I'm Riley King, and welcome to your 7 p.m. newscast right here on the Riley King Network. We are adding a new newscast to our program. It's called the 7 p.m. newscast. I hope you all enjoy. We have lots of news to get to, so let's get started. First up, woman, 70, shot, killed at Dartmouth Hitchcock Medical Center. Suspect in custody. Let's take a listen to the video from WMUR News 9.
And certainly some tense few hours here in Lebanon. Tom and Jen, here is what we know right now. The Attorney General says the Lebanon police received a report of a shooting inside the ICU on level 4 of the North Building this afternoon. That facility was evacuated. The Attorney General says the suspect was taken into custody as he tried to leave the hospital grounds. He would not say if anyone was actually injured, but sources tell News 9 tonight that one person was shot and killed in a domestic-related shooting at the hospital. Now, the New Hampshire Attorney General and an official from the hospital did speak at a news conference here just about an hour ago at the Dartmouth Hitchcock Administration Building, telling us that that shooting happened at about 1:25 this afternoon and that law enforcement is still working to clear what the hospital calls a crime scene and a tragic situation. But right now, the emergency department and the intensive care unit, the ICU, are operational. While this is an ongoing investigation, officials say the incident is considered over and that right now, at this hour, there is no threat to the public.
I just want to assure our patients and their families and the Dartmouth Hitchcock community that we're working very hard to ensure as little interruption to patient care as possible.
This matter is being investigated by New Hampshire State Police Major Crime Unit, my office, in conjunction with the Lebanon Police Department.
Now, the Attorney General did also say they do expect to release more information a little later tonight. We will have that for you. Now, this situation caused a mass evacuation on the main campus here, and WMUR's Jennifer Crompton spoke to some people who were forced to leave. She's joining us live with what they went through. Jennifer?
Well, Dartmouth Hitchcock Medical Center is a huge facility, so imagine you've got staff, patients, visitors, suddenly hearing that they either need to shelter in place or leave. Well, the scene was described as somewhat nerve-wracking, but very, very orderly. Now, crowds of people first moved just outside to the parking lot adjacent to the main building, then eventually to a lot on Coburn Hill, several hundred yards away. One staffer telling us that you hear the alert and you just do what you have to do. You get out, you help visitors and patients get out using wheelchairs, not knowing what's going on yet. But they describe it all, as I said, orderly, as they waited, checking phones for updates and information. That as word of the emergency spread to family and friends of those who'd been inside.
I got the message on my computer. We have a alert system on our computers, and it pops up, and at first it said shelter in place, so I just locked my office door and just sat in there until actually my manager was coming through and said they want to everybody out who can get out.
Such a surprise. This is shocking, actually. I mean, of all places at Dartmouth.
Well, my wife Jess works in the emergency room, which is typically a high stress and tension area. So I was very concerned when I heard the news. Just wanted to come down to be close in case there was some activity there.
Well, Bill Ryan finally got a call from his wife about an hour and a half ago. She was in the ER when this all happened. She was locked down and couldn't get near her phone, but he, like so many others, dealing with a lot of stress this afternoon, but happy to hear that things are going to be okay.
Okay, and there you go on that report and that video. We're following some breaking news in Boston right now. Person shot on Boston Common. A person was shot on the Boston Common Tuesday afternoon. Boston Emergency Medical Service said the shooting victim was found by the grandstand at the Boston Common. The victim was taken to a local trauma center with life-threatening injuries. Boston police said 2 people are in custody. The red line and green line are experiencing moderate delays due to police action. Emerson College has advised students on campus to go to the nearest room, lock doors, and silence their phones. Stay with us for the latest updates on this story. City Council consider proposal to keep sex offenders away from kids. Let's take a listen to this video from WMTW News 8 in Maine.
Provision of the ordinance would prohibit registered sex offenders from living within 750 feet of a school or playground.
I think it's important to have regulations to protect the citizens and the children in the community, so we're certainly in favor of that.
According to police, there are currently 179 registered sex offenders living in Lewiston, 112 of whom moved to town after being convicted.
It is rather concerning sometimes for us that why did they choose Lewiston to come here and live when their conviction is from Florida or Georgia or somewhere out of the state of Maine or even outside the city of Lewiston for that matter.
Although according to stats from the Department of Justice, only 10% of sexual abuse perpetrators are strangers to the child. Police say this is just an extra level of protection.
I think it's a chance that we're willing to take, if anything that we can do to protect the children in our community.
Parents we spoke to say they're surprised such an ordinance isn't already in place.
I think people just assume they're not living in your neighborhood. I think kids fall for things, and they need us to watch over them.
Earlier this year, Auburn adopted a similar ordinance. Lewiston police say adopting it here in town is common sense. Erin Dixon, WMTW News 8.
Okay, and there you go on that report. Here are all the big products Apple announced on Tuesday. Apple revealed some of the most highly anticipated iPhones yet at its big event today. The high-end model features a completely new look with a screen that stretches from edge to edge and gets rid of the home button. It's been on every other iPhone since 2007. Apple also making a big push into augmented reality, where images from apps are superimposed over live video captured by the camera. Here's the rundown of everything announced today. iPhone X, iPhone 8 and iPhone 8 Plus, Apple TV, Apple Watches, and their new campus in place the Apple company has. And there you go on that report. SCOTUS allows Trump's ban on most refugees. The Supreme Court is allowing the Trump administration to maintain its restrictive policy on refugees. The justice on Tuesday agreed to an administration requests to block a lower court ruling that would have erased the refugee ban and allowed up to 24,000 refugees to enter the country before the end of October. And that does it for the Riley King Newscast. That does it for your 7 p.m. newscast right here on the Riley King Network. I hope you all enjoyed this 7 p.m. newscast, and I'll be back here tomorrow night with another 7 p.m. newscast. Good night, everyone.